Okay, so we're also live on Facebook. The live stream is streamed if there's a week that you're not here and you're ready to miss out on the bagels, lox, and cream cheese, and you just want to listen to the 15-minute power lesson, 20-minute power lesson. That's going to be on Facebook, on the Jewish Community Facebook group. If you're not part of it, I'll send you a link. You can always join that group and join us here for your in-home lunch and learn. Make yourself lunch and learn with us on Facebook. So our lunch and learn, I want to thank you all for joining here today for our inaugural lunch and learn, which is going to happen, rain or shine. It's going to happen every single Wednesday, unless there's a reason that I'm not in town. But if I'm in town, it's going to happen every Wednesday, starting at 1, and then about 1:10 for about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll have a power boost of life lessons. This is what we're going to be doing for the next few weeks, and it's each class is a standalone class. As you see, the text that we're giving out is actually a very small text, not a lot of text. Let me see, actually. I didn't know there's such a feature on Facebook. You can add someone on video. So we'll see if that works. But either way, what we're going to be doing is every week we're going to be taking a few lessons, a few life lessons that we can learn. This is actually part of part of a book that was compiled by the Rebbe. It's called Hayom Yom, daily lessons, day to day. There's every single day of the Jewish year. Every single day, there's another. There's an aphorism. There's a custom. There's a lesson. Something very interesting for that day. So every day we have something. Today's lesson is not what we're going to be learning, but I picked one of my favorite Hayom Yoms. This was compiled in 1943, as you see on the bottom. This is a book that is full of Chabad customs, Jewish life lessons, really valuable stuff. So it's called Hayom Yom, and we're going to be doing something that is very relevant to everyone. It's not just something that is lofty or something spiritual. This is a very practical lesson. So here we go. This is a Hayom Yom from the month of ER. So this is usually it falls out usually in the month of May. So this is a very powerful one. So we'll read it inside, and then we'll go through it a little bit slowly just to get to what exactly the lesson is. So, Stephen, you want to help me read this?
Yeah, sure. Where should I start?
From It Is Possible.
It is possible to utilize for God's service, according to the Torah, all behavior traits. This includes those traits that are unwholesome and even those that are evil, as their names and descriptions indicate.
So pause for a second, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very famous quote in the Ethics of Our Fathers. It says, "Who is a wise man?" Ever heard this one? No. Who is a wise man? He who learns from every human being. If you can find something to learn from everyone, that is a wise man. Wise man is not someone who's full of knowledge. Many people are full of knowledge. Look at Google. Google's not a wise man. Google is Google, right? Or today we have what is it? The AI, the Chat GPT. GPT. If you've been following all the news, all the AI services where you can tell the AI to make yourself a resume, make me write an article for me. So today we have that. But that's not wise. That's knowledgeable. Who's a wise person? Someone who learns from every person. Now, why is that important? Yeah, experience. Because when you learn from someone who has experience, you're really gaining a lot more than just knowledge. You're learning experience and skills. Now, this applies to every human. Every human being can learn from every human being, even people who are not such great people. The answer is absolutely yes. We can learn something from every single type of person. It's hard to imagine, how can I learn something from that person? That person only teaches me bad things, right? So this Hayom Yom teaches us that even from someone who you never thought you can learn from, you can learn 7 lessons. So here we go. Go for it, Stephen. For example.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, for example, Tzaddik, Rabbi Meshulam,
Zusha.
Zusha. Okay.
And Napoli.
Holy.
By the way, this is the same rabbi that I spoke about on First Fridays when I told over the story about that he was crying before he passed away, and he was worried about what they're going to tell him when he comes up to heaven. And when he said, and when the students asked him, "Why are you crying?" He said, "I'm not crying because they're going to ask me, why weren't you like Abraham?" I'll answer them, "I'm not Abraham. I'm not. Abraham is Abraham. I'm Zusha, right? And I'm not going to be worried that they're going to ask me, why wasn't I like Moses during my lifetime? Because I'm not Moses. What I am worried about is they're going to ask me, why weren't you like Zusha? Why didn't you live to your fullest potential, to your fullest capabilities?" That's what I'm worried about. So this is the same rabbi who teaches us 7 lessons from, he learned a number of methods.
Let's say a blessed memory, learned a number of methods of serving God from a thief.
A thief. So we're going to learn 7 lessons today.
Yeah.
7 lessons from a thief. Can you imagine? Someone who is a thief, you never ever thought you'll learn something from them. Usually, from some people, they say you learn what to do. Some people, you learn what not to do. Here, we're actually learning 7 things to do like a thief. Here we go.
All right.
Number 1.
Number 1. He works quietly. It makes sense. He works quietly without others knowing.
That's number 1. He works. he works very, but very swiftly, very discreetly, very quietly. No fanfare, no drama. You take, there's a few stories I've seen recently where someone was silly enough to steal and then post his findings on social media, right? A thief knows the more people that know about it, the less likely he is to be successful. Someone who wants to be successful in thievery, in robbery, needs to be very, very discreet. And this is a lesson in serving God as well. When we're doing something, instead of looking for all the fanfare and drama behind what we're doing, do it discreetly. Do it, but do it discreetly. That's the lesson number 1. Who you never thought from a thief you'll learn something. That's one thing you'll learn from them. Number 2.
He is ready to place himself in danger.
Exactly. He's ready. A thief is ready to take risks. He's a risk taker. They do things that we'll never do in our lives, right? And that's something that we can learn from them, not to put ourselves in danger, God forbid, but to take risks. Stop being so worried, if it doesn't work out exactly like my calculations tell me it should work out, I shouldn't do it. From a thief, we learn, number 2, if there is something we can learn from them, is take risks. Go and just jump, leap, take that leap of faith and get into it. Number 3.
3. The smallest of detail is great importance to him.
So this is actually very important. I think many people look over this, which is, I'm not a thief, so I'm just trying to get into a thief's head. But if just try to get into a thief's head, imagine they plan a huge operation, right? Huge operation, a huge scandal. They're trying to steal something from this museum. It's in a safe. They're not going to get it without. They can plan the operation from A to Z, but if they overlook one, and I mean one minor detail, the whole operation is kaput. Right?
We were saying that with there are no unimportant adults.
Exactly.
You also learn from a good leader.
Yes.
Every one of these tricks. The point that I want to make is, it's easy to overlook something if you're looking at a bad person. The word
Right.
bad in quotes. Thieves are not usually nice guys.
Right.
So you want to, here's the thing, when you want to put everything in perspective, it's more likely you want to learn something from a good person. And now you can learn
100%.
these things, but if you change the things to learn from a leader, every one of these things would
That's exactly the point.
legitimate.
That's exactly the point. Reb Zusha is teaching us that anything that we can learn, even from someone who is a thief, that you never thought you could learn from him, even from him you can learn. And by the way, you're right. Technically, they're not unique or not very unique things that thief. Many people have these traits, but you'll find all of them very, very much in a thief. So number 3, if a thief overlooks even one minor detail, even one minor detail, what could happen is their entire planning of months of trying to steal something can go to the garbage. And the same thing goes with our service to God and our practicing and observing of Judaism. that sometimes people say, oh, the big things are important. We have to remember even the small details that seem so insignificant and so unimportant, irrelevant to observing a Jewish lifestyle, even those are as important. It's wrong and it's silly to make a bigger deal out of the bigger things and a no deal or a small deal out of the small things.
And then it becomes arbitrary.
Exactly. It's true. It's true. I think just to give an example, you ask someone who's Jewish, what are big things in Judaism? What are important mitzvahs in Judaism? People will say being kind to one another. People will say maybe big mitzvahs will be something like Shabbat, for a man putting on tefillin, the big things. But how about a small detail of a mitzvah? Something small such as, I'll give you an example, eating matzah on Passover night on the Seder. It's a mitzvah, but if you do it, you do it. If not, not. To start making the calculations, what's significant, what's not, in an operation, everything is important, even the smallest detail. So that's something that we can learn from a thief. Mark Moskowitz, I want to go to number 4, D.
He labored with great toil.
Yeah, that's something from a thief. Thieves who are not hard workers, who don't put in a lot of effort, are not the good thieves. The good thieves are the ones who put in a lot of work, a lot of planning, and they don't stop. They work really diligently. Mark Mitchell, what's E?
Alacrity.
Alacrity. Alacrity is,
Yeah.
alacrity is very important. Alacrity is working very swiftly, working not procrastinating. The biggest problem of human beings is procrastination, pushing things off. Right? All right, I should go on a diet. I'll do it in 2 months. After Hanukkah, after I get to eat all the donuts and latkes, that's when I'll go on the diet. Right? No one wants to go on a diet. Or you have something important to do, I'll call them tomorrow. Right? It's our biggest problem. And a thief knows he has to do it. He has to get it done. He does it with alacrity. He moves swiftly. That's E. F, Marsha? There we go. That's something that also we can really learn from, where a thief is very confident about, put it this way, if a thief is not confident about what they're trying to do and that the job will get done, they're usually not going to go in. Obviously, they're going to take a risk, but they're confident that the risk is going to pay off, right? That's something very important to learn. They're optimistic, and they're confident that what they're doing will actually work. Very important in the way we run our lives as well. That we have to run our lives with a lot of confidence and optimism. I know it's a little hard for a Jewish person to not be pessimistic, but it's something that we can learn from a thief. Number 7, G. Go for it, Aaron.
If he did not succeed the first time, he tries again and again.
This is my favorite one. My favorite one is a thief never gives up. A thief.
But if you didn't make it the first time, you could end up
Getting caught.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting into a good point, but let's forget the details of a thief getting caught. Imagine he goes and he tries and he couldn't find it and he had to run out.
It's like solving a problem.
Yeah.
Keep on trying, meaning if you want to apply it until you're able to solve whatever it is. So you want to take a positive spin.
100%. This is a crucial part of living life, not just as a Jew, but living life, but how much more so living a Jewish life full of Torah and mitzvahs, where we try to do things so often and we don't succeed, right? We go with the optimism, with alacrity, with the confidence, with the risk taking, with all the things that we mentioned here, the details, discreetness, all that, but we don't succeed, and that usually tanks our entire operation. Like, okay, we're done. I tried this. I tried observing this. It didn't work. I tried lighting Shabbat candles twice a month. It didn't work. Not for me. The answer is absolutely not true. Not true. We have to keep on trying again and again. And that's something that we learn from a thief. Ironically, a thief is so determined, they're so committed to their object that they're trying to get, that they're going to try again and again until they get what they want. That's an unbelievable trait. can't undermine the commitment to trying to make things work. So this is something that probably is surprising. You never thought. You learn not one, not two, 7 things that are powerful things.
Benevolent. And then all of them fall into play. Right?
So 7 things from a thief, I think, is a very, very powerful way of living life. Of 2 things. Number one, that you can learn a lesson from anyone and everyone and everything. This is a very Hasidic way of living life. The Baal Shem Tov, the founder of the Hasidic movement, said, everything you encounter, everything you see, should and could be a lesson for how to live your life. If you're stuck in traffic, there's also a lesson you can learn. Maybe it's a lesson of patience. Maybe it's a lesson of how to be present in the moment and not just trying to get to the next thing. There's so many things that we tend to shut down when things don't work out. But the Baal Shem Tov teaches us that whatever we experience, whatever we see, whatever we do, whatever we hear, should and could be a lesson in the way we live our lives. So l'chaim to our first lunch and learn, where we learned 7 single powerful lessons from a thief.
It takes a thief. They're also motivated. I mean, there's a lot more to it. They also
but that itself, the motivation is the underlying factor of everything.
It's the game. Can you catch me if you can?
Catch me if you can, exactly.
If you can. So it's also like
it's a thrill.
It's a thrill.
100%. Yeah. And by the way,
it's like stealing, pickpocketing, whatever you 5-finger discount.
I actually remember watching a video of someone who used to pickpocket because they found it so thrilling. Not because they actually cared about what was in the pocket. They didn't care. Yes, 100%. That's not the type of thief that we're referring to as much. But even from such a thief, we can learn to find thrill in everything that we do. One of the probably the biggest problems in the way people observe Jewish things is that we do it so often. And by the way, Orthodox Jews have the bigger problem where they do things so often. Let's say you put on tefillin every single day. I have this problem all the time where I'm putting on tefillin every single day of the weekday. And I put it on so often I stop appreciating every time I put it on. Someone who puts it on once a year, it's powerful. It's that once a year. Imagine you had Yom Kippur every day of the year. Even though Yom Kippur, okay, take away the fasting, but the seriousness of the day, it would become just a daily routine. It becomes routine. That's something that you have to find thrill. You have to be excited about what you do, passionate about what you do. So, l'chaim to that, I want to make sure to end 2 minutes before 1:30, so Erwin doesn't go over his kosher rules of